Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it worked really well. You just right click on it and it makes it full screen. No.
Wong, Wong's Kitchen, episode 6. Um, Today we're making a traditional dish that's served during celebratory meals in the Chinese culture. They're actually called longevity noodles. The reason why they're called longevity noodles is because of how long the noodles are, and the longer the noodle, the longer it be. And there's a story about how you actually eat these. So these are super long, and you're actually, as you eat them, you're not supposed to bite them. You're supposed to just take them all in, in kind of one slurp or as kind of one bite as you bring them in. Not sure how it's possible because these noodles are actually really long. All right, let's just start and go through some of the ingredients. Oh, before we do that, just because I have other people watching, maybe on YouTube, we just have family and friends who have joined in as we've gone through this. Reason why we actually launched Wong's Kitchen when we shut down the school, we just wanted to share some things that we're passionate about as teachers. We could be learning at home, It gets kind of tedious. Again, we're in week 8. We're actually finishing up week 8 of the school shutdown, and we've all been at home. And this is just something that I wanted to share with my kids, with my students at school, because I love cooking, and I'll experiment with things. Again, my dad was a chef, and he just instilled the love for cooking and more so eating. Eating the things you make and making people happy. So that's why we do this, and that's why we want to share the passions we have with our students. So let's just go through some of the ingredients. Here's your key ingredient to the noodle dish. I actually just started making this like a couple months ago for Chinese New Year, because my sister said, hey, why don't you make longevity noodles? And I said, well, you know what? I said, sis, I never made them before. So Karen, my sister Karen, I said, I've never made them before, but I'll figure it out. And so I did some searching on the internet, and this is the key to this dish. The key to the dish are these Fu noodles, and actually it's a product of the United States. They're actually made in Baldwin Park, California. Here, at least these are the ones we get. And look at, they're kind of this cool. They're just this round kind of like hockey puck noodles. But the amazing thing about these are actually pre-fried noodles already. And so the company deep fries them, turns them into this puck. And as you see, as we prepare them, all you have to do is put them in boiling water. And once they fall apart, you got to take them out so that they don't turn into like this mushy mess. You want to keep them so that they still have some type of texture to them and they're a little bit springy. Now, where do I pick up all of the ingredients for this? We're still, ordered to stay safe at home. But when you have the opportunity to go, you want to go to, I pick up all my ingredients at 99 Ranch. So they sell this pack of noodles in the noodle aisle at 99 Ranch supermarket. For my students, there's a 99 Ranch in Van Nuys that you could pick up these type of noodles. Okay, the next ingredient, shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms come fresh. You can pick them up at 99 Ranch in the mushroom section in the produce aisle. Here are fresh shiitake mushrooms, and they actually are soft, and they actually are, when you cut them up, they're a little bit spongy and soft. They're just like regular mushrooms, but then they have a very earthy flavor, so they go great in this noodle dish. And then otherwise, if you can't find fresh ones, they also have dry ones. As you can see, these dry ones, you need to soak them in hot water. You could just room temperature water. You put them into a cup, and you got to soak them for a couple hours in order for them to get soft. The other trick is to put them in a microwave safe bowl or cup. Put them into the microwave like for a minute. It'll heat them up, and then it helps the process to rehydrate them, and it goes a lot faster. So those are the mushrooms. We have also here some garlic chives. They're just another onion it's like a green onion, but they're actually garlic chives. You find them in the produce aisle at an Asian supermarket. So again, 99 Ranch. Now, the amazing thing, like we've been doing for all of the Chinese cooking we've been doing the last couple weeks, all of the ingredients, all of the kind of the seasonings have been the same. And we're just going to add a little twist to some of them, but pretty much the same. You have here regular soy sauce. The twist, it's two teaspoons of regular soy sauce. Now, if I weren't doing the cooking show, I would just have the bottles here, and I would just kind of sprinkle it into the dish and to do the seasoning, and you get an idea. You just kind of, one swirl around the pot and you're good. But this is regular soy sauce. This is dark soy sauce. The dark soy sauce is actually has a little bit more pungent flavor, but it adds a great color to your dish. Again, you always have sesame oil. You have white pepper. We're going to add one additional sauce. This is actually oyster sauce. So this is one of the other sauces other than soy sauce that actually goes into a lot of the Chinese cuisine. So you could pick up a bottle of oyster sauce almost at any supermarket. All right. And then of course you have some salt, and we just have a little bit of water here to kind of help kind of bring all the flavors together when we add all of the sauces together. So we're gonna start cooking. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go over to our wok. We're gonna go over to our wok that's here. And what you have to do is, I've already pre-boiled the water, but you wanna drop these noodles into boiling water. And once you drop them into the boiling water, you're just gonna use some type of, you can use a pair of chopsticks, or you can use a strainer. I have a cool looking Chinese strainer that I'm gonna use. These are the best strainers that you can ever have. The ones that they use in American kitchens, they just don't strain things very well. But I have 3 of these, a variety of sizes depending on what I'm cooking. I have small, medium, and large. We're gonna use a large one because we wanna make sure when we take out the noodles that we get them all out at the same time, so that some of them do not, so they don't cook. So let's just put that aside for a minute, and let's just get the water to a boil. Sorry, I boiled the water 5 minutes before we launched the episode, so it'll get there. We'll get the water going here. Now, even if the water's not boiling, as long as the water is close to boiling temperature, since this, we're in school, what's the boiling temperature? It's 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So we're gonna get this water, and there we go. The water is just gonna start to steam. Look at it, it feels like I am on Jungle Cruise at Disneyland, because you can make a water joke or something, because we're just waiting for it to boil. So when you go through Jungle Cruise, what do you hear? You said, "Oh, look, it's a joke about seeing the backside of water." If anybody's been on the Jungle Cruise before at Disneyland. So if you miss Disneyland, which our family a little bit, we enjoy going there. All right. Now, all right, talk a little bit since I'm waiting. What happens when you boil water? Since I gotta wait for water to boil. The reason why water boils is because you heat the molecules enough to get them moving. You're adding kinetic energy to the water molecules. And as you add the kinetic energy to the water molecules, it's actually changing, the water molecule is changing phases. So the water molecule is changing from the liquid phase, right? You have solid, liquid, and gas. You're changing the water molecule H2O from the liquid state to the state where it turns into a gas, and you're adding energy. So the reason why it starts to boil and the bubbles start showing up is because those water molecules that have been turned to are escaping the liquid. All right, see, so you got a little in here, and it's starting to boil. So, all right, what we're gonna do is just take the hockey puck, and we're probably gonna have to do these in 2 rounds because these pucks are actually rather big. Just drop them in the water, and you're gonna use and you're gonna have to, you turn them over. You can use your strainer to turn them over, stick, and you just want to get it so that they start to loosen and fall apart. Now, if you notice, you got some loose pieces here because, again, they're deep fried and they're cooked already. All right, just a couple tosses. They're loose. You know what? And don't think that they're not cooked. You gotta see, once it's done, you gotta get them out. You gotta get them out of the water. So let's strain this out of the water, and then we'll put the other hockey puck in. Really, it's only a couple seconds in the hot boiling water. And as you can see, the water is opaque now because it's actually the oil from the noodles. And I think that's why these noodles taste so great. I mean, they're already pre-fried. They're already pre-deep fried. You're just loosening them up, okay? All right, let's drop in the second hockey puck for a couple seconds. And then let's just dump in the rest of the noodles from our package. And again, just push down, get them into the water, and then you're gonna use your strainer. If you have one that's big enough, let's flip them over. And then here, they're going to be nice and loose. Again, that's it. Turn off the heat, and let's get them out so that they don't turn, so that they're not going to turn into a bunch of mush. All right, let's get these out here. Almost, let's get these out. Now, of course, the reason why, we're talking about the long life noodles. These are just bits and ends that have broken off the bigger noodle. But look at this. They're long. So let me just get a chopstick here. And if you're very careful, that's a pretty nice looking long noodle. That's why they call them long life noodles. Now we're just gonna do a very simple dish. We just have mushrooms and chives in there. But in different events in the Chinese culture, when you go to a Chinese banquet, you might have these noodles for a birthday party. You can have them for even a wedding. And the other one is, it's interesting too. You actually have these noodles at a funeral meal. And the reason why you have them at a funeral meal is you're celebrating somebody's life of somebody who passed away, but you have those noodles to wish those who are sharing in the meal and remembering their loved ones that you're wishing them to have continued health and prosperity and long life as well. All right, so let's get this wok out of the way, and we're gonna switch up the pot here, and we're just this dish really, once you get the noodles done, we're gonna fire up our non-stick pan again, and we're gonna put in our oil. You could be generous with the oil, because what we're doing is we're actually frying up. We're gonna be sauteing our mushrooms. So once you get the oil in, let's let the pan heat up a little bit. We'll dump in our mushrooms, and then once you dump in the mushrooms, you're just gonna dump in your garlic chives. It's not gonna take very long. And then what you do, the amazing thing about Chinese cooking and Chinese stir fry, what happens? You throw in your vegetables first, get them tender, and then everything else just goes into the pan, and you just toss it all up, and then you're done. So Chinese stir fry is a great way to, it's simple cooking. All right, so as this heats up, let's coat the bottom of the pan, and then let's dump in our mushrooms. All right, now the mushrooms are like they're like a sponge, so you want to make sure as you're cooking this, you might need to add in additional oil as you go, because the mushrooms are going to soak up. All of the oil. See, look, if you look at see the pan, all the oil's gone already. So we're just gonna hit the mushrooms a little bit with a little bit more olive oil here. Do you have to use olive oil? No, whatever oil you have in the house that you're cooking with is fine. Vegetable oil, canola, whatever oil that you have. All right, you just want to bring these, just get a little bit of a brown to the mushrooms. You don't want to overcook them or anything, because you could actually eat the mushrooms raw. It's just to get them a little bit more tender. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to add in all your sauces. So you have as we dump this in, and actually I'm going to do this. I have a little bit of water here because we can actually just have a little bit of, as we add in our sauces. So we have our, that's just going to help the mushrooms get a little bit more tender. We're going to add in our soy sauce. We're going to add in our dark soy sauce, and I'm just going to put a little bit of water in that dark soy sauce just to swirl it off the bottom. All right, let's add in our sesame oil. And it's okay, you're gonna let the mushrooms soak up all of the flavor. Sesame oil. We're gonna put in our white pepper. We're gonna add in our oyster sauce. And you can see the mushrooms, and we're just gonna go ahead and throw in our salt, and then let's throw in our chives. Why do we put the chives in at the end? Is because they're the ones that are gonna cook the fastest. And then we're going to just once you have that, see, it's all done. We can add in a little bit of the water, turn the heat down a little bit. Let's deglaze the pan with a little bit of water, and then let's dump in our noodles. Let's fold in our noodles. My daughter's helping me, Addison's helping me mix up those noodles. We're gonna add in a little bit more water just to get that sauce off the bottom of the pan and deglaze it. And then of course, if you don't want, the key to this dish is to not have the noodles break, right? So let's use our tongue to toss up the noodles and get all the sauce off the bottom of the pan. And then let's get that back in. And then that's your long life noodle. Now, let's just say that these were served, you know, at a like a funeral celebration to remember somebody's life. What they do is they serve them plain like this. It's just mushrooms, the garlic chives, or the onions that are in there. But at other events, let's just say it was like a birthday party or something, what they actually add in, all right, so it looks good, the sauce is all mixed in, you have your mushrooms and everything. What they end up doing, what they do, we have a couple of noodles, let's just mix that in. I'm just gonna grab my soy sauce container. I'm just gonna add a little bit more soy sauce to it because it looks like there are some noodles that don't have enough seasoning. All right, a little bit over here, and that's okay. Let's just to get the flavoring in and just get a little bit more of the sauce coming out. And then what we have here, your dish is done. But at other events, what they end up doing with this noodle, this basic noodle. So let's just get this onto a plate. If you could see, look at those gorgeous, beautiful long life noodles that are super long. We're gonna make sure we get the mushrooms up there. Let's get a couple more long life noodles onto the plate. Not trying to get them so they stay, there we go, we stay nice and long. And then we're going to just always garnish a little bit. I kept some of the green garlic chives on top just to do the garnish here. As you could see, so this is the garnish plate, and then this is to finish it off. So let me just finish the story as I was plating that. Oh, go this way here. More. Up. Okay. It's okay. Moving to get the plate. You know what they do to just kind of to make the dish it, you'll go to a Chinese restaurant, not a Panda, you know, we're talking a authentic Cantonese restaurant, even a Mandarin restaurant may even have this kind of dish, but you look for it, and it's called longevity noodles or yi mein, and you order it with that lobster on top. Now that's one of my favorite dishes ever at a Chinese restaurant. So that's the Chinese longevity noodles. Again, all of these ingredients came from 99 Ranch. You can, when it's safe to go out, to pick up some of the ingredients, you can go ahead and head out. Make sure, as you go out, social distance. Make sure you wear your face mask for the benefit of others. And you could come into the chat feature. If you have any questions, then I can actually, let me read some, if there's any comments there, then I can actually address some of those questions. Can you get to the, are there any questions? Oh, over here. All right, so there are no questions today. So, hey, thanks for joining Wong's Kitchen episode 6, week number 8 of the COVID-19 shutdown. So make sure you stay safe, and I hope you can actually go out once all of this is over, and you can actually go out to the market, that you could actually make this dish, because it's absolutely delicious. And you know what? During this time, we want to have long life. We want you to have prosperity, and we want you to have good health. So thanks for joining in. We'll see you next week. I was talking to my daughter, Addison. We don't have any ideas for next week's cooking episode, but we'll let you know what comes up. If you could see in the YouTube channel, it's called Wong's Whims. If we feel like eating something, we'll cook it for you, because my kids love eating lunch after we're done with this show every Thursday. All right, take it easy. See you later.